All right. Welcome to our virtual meeting. Our topic for this today is managing performance through training and development. But before that, let's put ourselves in the holy presence of God. Prayer for Israel and Palestine, and prayer for the peace of the world. Gracious God, we pray for all persons suffering from war. May they be held in your loving care and protection and given the strength to endure great suffering and hardship. Transform the hearts and minds of all those who perpetuate violence and oppression. Grant wisdom to world leaders in advancing effort towards world peace. May they not be compromised by self interest and blind indifference. We ask all this through the intercession of Our Lady of Lourdes and in the name of your Son, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, now and forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. We are going to attempt to complete the following topics for today. Do organizations need training? And then what is the gap concept? The training needs and training needs analysis, the importance of training, the benefits of training, and definition of training. I'm sure that you have had a lot of trainings in our background as we are embarking in the graduate school. We're going to also attempt to talk about training, education, development. What is the ASK concept? Principles of learning, some of the emerging trends in training and development, a systematic approach to training, a model of training process, 9 steps in the training process. We're going to look at an example of a training lesson plan, best practices in training and development, challenges and some risks that are involved facing organization with regards to training and development, what we're looking forward to, and the references. So the question, do organizations need training? So the answer would definitely be a certain yes, correct? So, because in today's rapidly evolving environment of business and also administration, training and development have become more important than ever before because of the so much changes in management, changes in information system that we use at the office, changes in a lot of things, changes in our coworker, diba? Organization must ensure that the employees have the skills and knowledge that are required to succeed in their roles and also to drive them to be part of the organizational growth. In recent years, the advent of new technologies, changing workforce dynamics, and also demographics, the global pandemic has further emphasized the significance of training and development to enable employees to adapt to changing workplace environment. So we are going to have an overview of the current state of training and development in 2024. Training and development, I think we have a national certificate for this one. If you're familiar, trainer's methodology. Are you familiar with that with TESTA?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So for them, they are taking this particular topic for, I think, 250 hours. And we're going to attempt to finish it in like roughly uh, 60 to 90 minutes only. Okay. So what is the gap concept? Um, this is actually a training term. The gap concept, sorry, in TND refers to the difference between the employee's current level of knowledge, skills, abilities, or the KSA, and the level that is required to perform the job effectively. So this gap can be identified through a TNA or needs analysis, and it's actually addressed. The gap can be addressed or can be solved through training and development interventions. So the goal is to bridge the gap and equip employees with the necessary knowledge, skills, and abilities to perform the job responsibilities at a higher level. So when we address the gap, or main goal basically is to close the gap, that there should not be a difference between the actual curve and the expected curve. So when we do this, when we are able to address it properly, uh, organization are said to experience improvement in the performance of the employees, job satisfaction, and ultimately, of course, reaching the mission, the goal of the organization, and the effectivity and efficiency of the organization itself. Oh, this is just an example. Oh, by the way, you have a copy of this, huh? Can you confirm?
Yes, sir.
You have a copy of this. So, training needs, conducting internal training needs analysis, or TNA. So you might have experienced while at work that the human resources department or the personnel department asks questions like, "What are the training needs that you would want us to provide for the next year or for the next period?" Have you had that experience that you were answering a survey or the TNA?
Yes, sir.
Most definitely. Regardless if you are working in the private sector or in the public sector, correct? So,
Opo, sir.
correct. All right. So um, these are some of the reasons why we do training needs, because there are, I don't want to use the term, but they are using it in personnel management books or HR books. Employee obsolescence, career plateau, that it is not, progressing anymore, the career, and employee turnover are the are the three identified challenges or problems that organizations face in managing the workforce. So employee obsolescence means that the situation where employee skills and knowledge become outdated and irrelevant due to the changes in technology, processes, or market demands. So we have experienced a lot of obsolescence in terms of employees KSA, right? Because of the biglang nag-boom yung technology during the pandemic, that some of, for example, I'll just use teachers as an example. So some teachers who are not well adept to the use of technology or learning management system at that time, especially in elementary and high school, were shocked that they were forced to learn how to use learning management systems. For example, the free Google Classroom or Canvas for us, or Blackboard Learn, etc. So even for some other businesses and other institutions, maraming na shock sa kasi yung skills dating ginagamit may not be that in demand. Career plateau. So this is actually a point where employees no longer see opportunities for growth or even advancement in the current position within the organization. So in effect, this can lead to job dissatisfaction and disengagement. In turn, it results to lower productivity and increase turnover. Nagre-resign, resigning, and then we hire again, and it's very expensive, to hire new employees when they are resigning. I have a question. In your own institution at the hospital, this is Mariano Marcos Hospital, correct?
Yes, sir.
How is the turnover of employees, like resigning and then applying? It may not be that obvious, right?
Yes, sir.
Because it,
Napakabilis.
go ahead.
Okay, sir. Napakabilis, sir. Mas lalo po mga nurses po natin, sir, and
Oh yeah.
other medical. professionals like medtech, pharmacies,
Yeah.
dietitians. Yes, sir.
Perhaps
After
they
two
see that. Mm-mm.
after 1 to 2 years of experience, sir, they are applying abroad na.
Yeah, because they don't see the, just like what I have said, they don't clearly see the opportunities for growth or advancement, or even economic causes or reasons, like there is a greener pasture, so they say, as they say, elsewhere. Okay. So speaking of turnover, employees feel that the skills and contributions are no longer valued. They are unable to see a path for career advancement. So they leave the organization. High levels of employee turnover can be very costly for organizations. So both in terms of direct cost of recruitment and training, as well as the indirect cost associated with the lost productivity, knowledge, and experience. Organizations must be proactive in addressing employee obsolescence, career plateaus, so that in effect we can minimize the risk of turnover and ensure that our workforce are motivated and well engaged. Okay, reasons to consider conducting. I thought this is the one that we were discussing. Sorry. Importance of training. A recent study published in the Journal of Management, they have found out that training and development can have a positive impact on employee performance, job satisfaction, and organizational commitment. So the study entitled, let me just check the title. Okay. The effects of training and development on employee performance, job satisfaction, and organizational commitment, a study of employees in Jordanian banks. So the study surveyed 338 employees from four Jordanian banks and found that training and development programs were positively associated with employee performance. So sa study na yon, it also uh, 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 found out that when they are when they undergo training and development program, they feel satisfied in their jobs, and hence they give their commitment to the organization. So the researchers of that study concluded that investing in training and development programs can help organizations attract and retain talented employees, enhance the skills and knowledge, and ultimately improve organizational performance. So these are some of the importance of training. Most training is targeted to ensure trainees learn something that they could apply to the job. So not we don't do training and development just for the sake of that because we there is an accreditation or anything else, but most importantly because we know and we understand and um, we realize that training and development is improving our employees and that they are being more committed to the job than before after training and development. So, what is training? In front of us is actually a definition of training. Training is a systematic process through which an organization's human resources gain knowledge and develop skills by instruction and practical activities, resulting to improved corporate or organizational performance. So, if that is the case, then training is an acquisition of knowledge, skills, and also competencies, resulting to teaching of vocational or practical skills and knowledge relating to specific useful competencies. So, generally speaking, training refers to a process of learning and developing knowledge, skills, and competencies so that we can improve individual and organizational performance. So, what are the activities involved in training? It can be classroom based, uh, it can be through instruction, may instructor, tapos may learners. It can also be OJT, on the job training, mentoring. It can be coaching. It can be through online, through e-learning, and it can be in other forms of skills development. The goal of training is typically to enhance an individual's ability to perform specific tasks and also functions, responsibilities in their role in the organization, to adapt to changes in the workplace or industry. This is believed to be improving overall organizational effectiveness. So let's differentiate training, education, and development. These three are related concepts in the context of learning and growth, but they have different goals and focus. So training, it refers to, we have already defined that earlier. So let's proceed to education now. Education refers to a more general process of learning and acquisition of knowledge. They're often offered in a formal education programs. So this typically provides a broader and more theoretical understanding of a subject and may be directly related to an individual's current job or role. It is also a lifetime investment as it tends to be initiated by person in the area of what he or she is interested in, and that this is actually what they are trying to pursue in the world of work or in business or in as entrepreneurs. So education. While development is much broader concept, it encompasses both training and education. So this is actually a process of building an individual's capacity to grow, to learn, to adapt to new situations and challenges over time. So it can involve activities such as job shadowing, mentoring, coaching, training, and also, of course, education or formal educational programs. The goal of development is mainly to build an individual's potential for future growth and success. So that is when we say development, it we are not targeting only the current uh, the current role of our employees, but also beyond that. So that is training, education, and development. So far, everything is okay, Dr. Grace.
Yes po, sir.
Inom lang ako tubig. Okay. What is the ask concept? So the ask concept in training and development refers to three key components. These are very much important in effective learning and development or L&D: attitude, skills, and knowledge. So the ask concept recognizes that successful training and development requires uh, um, sharing of knowledge, or we are teaching new skills. This requires individuals to have a accepting or positive attitude, willingness to apply new knowledge and skills in the workplace. Okay. Let me just be more clear on what are the differences between attitude, skills, and knowledge. Attitude, individual's mindset. Okay, on how the person the person employees na lang, how the employees um, sees learning and development. So having a positive attitude involves willingness to learn and grow, and also believing that having training and development is valuable, or that it is important for my job. So that's the attitude. We always look for the attitude, for the positive mindset of our employees. Skills, These are specific abilities and competencies that individuals need to perform the job effectively. So it can be technical skills. Example ng technical skills, of course, your work. You're a dietitian, correct?
Yes, sir.
Nutritionist,
Yes po, sir.
nutritionist dietitian. So that's a very technical skills that you have. Also, skills in software development or the use of a particular equipment or nursing or medicine or accounting, etc., or law. So these are technical skills. Or skills can also be soft skills. For example, here, you are good in, you have the ability and you have the competency to communicate well, to do jobs in collaboration with others or teamwork. And also, you have the skills to solve problems. This cannot be, ano ha, this cannot be taught. It's actually, learn in the process of education, training, and also development. Knowledge. It refers to the understanding of concepts and principles and theories that uh, we are going to use in our job. So it includes knowledge in business or in public administration of what are our services in the hospital, what are our products that we sell, what are the regulations, what to do and what not to do, what are illegal in our practice, and also the procedures and how to do it. So these are knowledge. Yes, knowledge. So the ask concept highlights the importance of addressing the three components of training and development initiatives. And of course, at the end of the day, we do this or we try to understand so that we can achieve organizational effectivity. Let's have a short exercise and ask. Rank ask by difficulty to develop in people. Okay. I'll give you 1 minute to think about it. So, which one is easy? Which one is moderately difficult? And which one is most difficult? 1 minute.
Okay, sir. Most for easy, sir. For me, it's attitude. I know, sir. Sorry. Knowledge. Supposed to be.
Knowledge. Okay.
Then for moderately difficult, skills, and the most difficult is attitude.
The most difficult is attitude. So let's see. The most difficult
Yes, sir.
is attitude because it's really, really hard to, when someone is has a bad attitude, it's very difficult to change the person. Although there is a possibility, of course, to um, somehow sway that person into positivity or into being optimist. Okay, skills is moderately difficult as it needs time to polish, right? And you are correct. Knowledge is the easy one because you will just have to uh, discuss through classroom or on o GT nga more on skills pa kasi it takes time, di ba? Through seminars, webinars, through workshops, etc. Although workshop is also used in skills and attitude na rin. So, team building, kailangan talaga natin for attitude a lot of team building. Have you had an experience working with someone with an attitude? You know what I mean, no? When I say with an attitude,
Yes, sir.
how did you deal with it?
Currently, sir, we deal it professionally na lang, sir. What I mean, sir, I'm
But
sorry,
when you
my
say it's okay,
okay, sir. Currently, our seniors are not, kumbaga hindi po sila open-minded na may mga bago na silang
uh,
employees or may mga
ganon,
bago na silang dietitians. So
ganon.
they halos lahat po ng mga suggestions namin, lahat parang no, ganun sir. And parang kino-compare pa din nila kami sa past, dati ganito kami, dati okey naman na ganyan dati. Parang lahat sir, um, sa past pa din
Mm.
yung kanila, ayaw nilang tignan
Mag-improve.
yung yes sir.
Oh, 'di ba? Kailangan nila ng training. Kailangan ng training and development, right? We have identified that earlier in one of the studies in Jordan na kailangan talaga. Well, anyway, that's life. Hintayin na lang natin sila ang tawag din,
Retire.
mag-retire.
Matagal-tagal pa sir.
Or di ano ka, you have to equip yourself and then be ready for a re-ranking and advancement of your role, 'di ba? So that you can take part in the management. Yeah?
Yes sir.
Okay, five principles of learning. We have participation. So this is learning by doing or LBD. We repeat the concepts repeat and repeat so that it can be inculcated in the minds of the learners. Relevance. So we try to give to try to make them realize the value, the meaning, the relatedness of the concept to the work. Transference. So simulation in the real world, especially in your position, because you are really looking at the result of your decisions, because you really have to give the correct diet, and also that you have to compute for the nutrition of the patients, correct? So that's transference. Kitang kita agad yung effect sa real world kung mali ang ginawa, tama? And also feedback. So always if you have, for example, someone that is you are training them, it's important that you give feedback whether or not they are able to improve or that they still need improvement on what they are doing. So these are the five principles of learning. Emerging trends in training and development. Okay. There is undeniable, very much, sobrang bilis. Uh, very fast paced technological advancement driving significant changes in training and development. So, e learning, micro learning, gamification are increasingly being utilized on organizations to deliver training to the employees. So, these technologies enable organizations to provide training to their employees in a cost effective and convenient way. So this is regardless of location. In fact, you have had your training online, correct? By the Department of Health. So your trainer is here in Manila, in Santa Cruz Department of Health, which is the main office or the main department. And then everybody around the Philippines is being trained, not only them, but also there are participants in another country. So regardless of the location. Furthermore, the use of AI or artificial intelligence and machine learning in training and development is expected to increase in the coming years. This will enable organizations to personalize training content for individual employees based on their learning needs and preferences. Another emerging trend in training and development is the focus on soft skills training. So, increased emphasis on remote work and the rise of the gig economy, employees need to possess soft skills such as communication, teamwork, problem solving, so that they can, quote unquote, succeed in their roles. Consequently, organizations are investing in soft skills training programs to ensure that the employees have the necessary skills to navigate the changing work environment successfully. So these are some of the emerging trends. Um, Preparation of training plans. So before we have a training and development, people must identify what they must know. So that's before they can perform the job, what they should know so that they can improve the performance, and what would be nice for them to know. But these are not necessary to perform. their duties. So this is key concepts in the preparation of the training plan. Okay, here, according to Goldstein, 2002 Training and Organization, this is the model of the training process. So you have the assessment stage, the training stage, the actual, the during, and the after, which is the evaluation stage. Take note that it is important to compare the results to the criteria that we set at the beginning, so as a feedback, so that we can improve our training activity to the next beneficiary of the training. So the assessment stage, hindi na gumagalaw yung aking mouse. Anyway, ayan. Yeah, it involves needs assessment, task need assessment, development of training objectives, development of criteria for training evaluation. And then we do training, and then we do evaluation. Importante to ha, yung comparison of uh, results to the criteria. So it would really take time. So training pala does not only involve the actual training, but it involves equally important, with equal importance, the assessment stage and also the evaluation stage. The 9 steps in the training process. This one is this one. Okay? It's just a process. Um, let's take a look at the 9 steps very quickly. We assess training needs. So it can be external or internal approach. Internal, we ask the opinion of our staff through a survey, or we ask for needs analysis from what other companies are doing or what the industry needs. Eto. Imagine you are the manager of a factory with 500 workers making ice cream for export to Europe. What information and evidence do you need before you can say that employees need training? Give me 5 ideas. You have 1 minute to think about this exercise. Okay? Any idea?
Um, maybe, sir, if there are problems like attitude problems,
Okay.
um kapag ka madami na po nagfa-file ng mga leaves
Okay.
and madaming mga may mga complaints or madaming mga complaints from customers.
Right. Yeah, I think it's okay.
Um,
Three would do. Okay na yung tatlo. So,
okay.
manager of an factory. There are 500, so many workers. Ice cream to export. So, information and evidence before we decide that training must be done. So, these are some of the response to the exercise. Any of these, if there are accidents report, marami nang nagli-leave, nagpa-file ng sick leave, um, the product quality control is going down, we can actually look for wastage report, efficiency report, etc., etc. So these are examples, evidence and information that we need so that we can decide whether or not there is a need for a training. So preparation of the training plan, consider whether to design a long, medium, or short-term plan. We reflect what are we going to achieve in the time period. Okay? Training calendar example, ito. So it's like a Gantt chart. So what are the training areas and which month of the year are we going to implement these trainings? Individual plans. Ito naman, personalized training. So we assess the trainees' weakness and strengths so that we can address properly and tailor-made the training area for specific groups of individuals or even individually. Specifying training objectives. So um, training objectives must be specific and measurable because it's very difficult to measure effectiveness after courses finish if they are not set specifically and if they lack measurability. So these are um, the factors or elements that we need to understand and also know for designing training programs. I'm not going to read everything. How you have more time to read the nine in designing. So selecting instructional materials. So this one is the most important step. For example, are we going to do OJT or on off the job training? So if it is OJT, we learn while we are doing or while we're working on it. In fact, there are a lot of health sciences in the graduate school, and also almost all programs in the undergraduate do OJT so that they can appreciate the world of work. Or it can be off the job training, can be in-house, external and consultancy, can be government talks, distance learning, it can be computer assisted, video conferencing, etc. So let's have another exercise. Imagine you are the training manager of a hotel that will open next year. Your general manager asks you to develop a training program that aims to boost the team spirit of the newly formed executive committee members. Your GM suggests you organize a 2-day course in a resort from 9 to 5 for both days. So, your task is to suggest three training methods that suit the training theme described above. Hint, this is attitude. These are not skills nor knowledge training. Correct? Kasi medyo team building eh. 'Di ba? Sabi ko kanina, if it's team building, something like more on the soft skills. So responding to this exercise, we're just going to uh, answer. So remembering the training theme, our theme is to change individual attitudes. So we can employ exercises that trainees can, we have to remember, they can participate in and collaborate. They can react by feelings involved. They can provide feedback and also receive inspiration so that we can move on eventually, um, adding to the performance of the organization. So suitable training methods that you might include can be role play games, of course. Baka sa beach pa ito, no? Kung sa labas gagawin. Simulations, discussions, sharing of experiences, etc. You can add something if you want. Can you think of suitable training methods that you might implement in this particular situation?
Okay din po siguro yung open forum, sir, or nandun na po siya sa
Yeah,
discussion or debate.
it can be open forum because open forum is more emotional, no?
Yes,
Pat
sir.
hanggang personal level. Pero parang maraming nag-aaway pagka pag may open forum. Pag tinawag mo siyang open forum, 'di ba? Parang sisisihan
Yes,
na
sir.
magsisisihan na sila. Anyway, it can be also para mailabas nila, para perhaps it may change attitude. Okay. The next step is completing the training plan. Here, we assess our audience. What are our topics? How are we going to do it? What is the time given to us and where it would happen? And then we implement it. So We look for trainers that are qualified and has experience to perform the training and development to our employees. Okay, and set, of course, the feedback mechanism towards the trainer or the trainers. We evaluate. So there are three levels of evaluation in training. Immediate feedback can be a survey or an interview directly after training. So how do you feel? What do you want next? Or which part would you want us to improve on? And you ask your participants. Post training tests can be, of course, if it is a technical training, apply for an examination, whether or not they pass or fail the understanding of a particular information system or uh, a technical training. And post training appraisals, these are conducted by immediate supervisors of trainees. Then we plan after evaluation, we plan for future training. So after taking evaluations, comments, post evaluation, technical examinations, and tests, we modify the program to keep good things and make suggested improvements. So remember, even with the same topic for different trainees, trainers should address many parts of the process again and consider new approaches depending on the context. So this is an example of a training lesson plan. Starts with a topic, summary of key points, objectives of the training, duration of each activity in each session, training contents, methods, break, and then exercise to warm up, questions to test understanding, and conclusion. So this will be your example suggested lesson plan. So sample of new employee orientation. Of course, this differs from one organization to another. Can be like it has the elements of what time would it happen, what are the topics, how it should be delivered, and what are the activities relating to that topic. Okay, best practices in training and development. Effective training and development requires a strategic approach aligning with the organizational goals and objectives. So organizations must conduct a need analysis to identify the skills, knowledge, or the gaps that we had earlier discussed within the workforce and develop training programs addressing these gaps. Training programs should be designed to be learner centric, so we always take into account the different learning styles and preferences of our employees. Another best practice in TND is the use of blended learning approach. So this approach combines different delivery methods, for example, classroom training, e-learning, on-the-job training, providing employees within a comprehensive and engaging learning experience. Organizations should ensure that the training programs are evaluated regularly to measure the effectiveness so that we can make necessary adjustments to improve our delivery of our training. Okay, let's watch a short video on the challenges. Why is my mouse not working? Facing organizations.
As part of the needs assessment, and in order to design training appropriately, we need to identify and discuss some common challenges to the training process. These include minimally prepared or underprepared workers, difficulty in identifying the return on investment provided from training, employee resistance to change and feelings of insecurity, matching the training to the strategic goals of the organization, and logistics issues, including scheduling and making locations available for training courses. Managers have to work through each of these challenges in order for training programs to be successful. One of the most significant challenges to work process training is the fact that so many of the individuals being hired into the workforce are ill prepared in educational basics, including reading and math skills. Return on investment and cost justification are critically important. Businesses today are naturally concerned with the return they get from any corporate investment. Training is time consuming and expensive and is no different from any other investment. Executives expect and, in fact, require that training provide a positive return on investment known as ROI. All individuals resist changes to their routine. They resist for a variety of reasons, including insecurity, based on their concern that they may not be able to successfully adapt to the change in some way. This insecurity leads to resistance to change, and it can cause significant difficulty in the training process. Management must overcome resistance to change exhibited by all workers so that training can be successful. Strategic congruence is another challenge in the training process. One of the most critical requirements in the corporate training program world is the need to ensure that training furthers the strategic goals of the organization. Any training program that does not aim squarely at the strategic goals of the organization is difficult to justify in a corporate environment. As HR managers, we have to ensure our training and development programs help to carry out the organization's strategy over the long term. The last of our common challenges, scheduling, involves both the timing and the location of training. As with most things, there's never an ideal time to schedule a training course, especially if it runs for several days or even weeks. The trainers have to leave their regular jobs undone for the period of time of training, and the organization has to be able to operate without those trainees performing their normal tasks. In addition, the training may require the use of physical locations that have special equipment or tools that are only available for limited periods of time during the year. These logistic issues might seem minimal, but they frequently create significant problems for the HR department in scheduling and effectively delivering training courses.
Okay, despite the importance of training and development, many organizations face issues and challenges in implementing effective training programs. So, one significant challenge is the cost of training and development. Developing and delivering effective training programs can be expensive, specifically for small and medium sized organizations, because they have limited budgets. Another challenge is the lack of employee engagement in training programs. Employees may view training as a chore. So, this actually are not motivating them to participate actively in the program. So, the fast pace of technological advancements creates a challenge for some organizations, if not most, to keep up with the latest training and development practices. Organizations must invest in research and development so that they can stay ahead of the curve and ensure that the employees have access to the latest training methodologies and technologies that they can apply to their jobs. We're looking forward to research, quality on research administration, accountability data, and best practice, which is our next module. These are our references. Why is I'm just going to stop recording?